Imagine standing on the precipice of history, where each warrior moves not only with strength, but with an unwavering commitment to a code that governs every aspect of their life. This is the world of the samurai, warriors who carved their legacy into the very heart of Japan, not through sheer might alone, but through profound principles that resonated in every action, whether in battle or the tranquility of daily life. But who were these iconic figures? How did they rise to legendary status? And what made their lives and values so captivating to us even today? In this video, we're diving deep into the history of the samurai, uncovering their origins, their journey through history, the powerful code they lived by, and the lasting impact they've left on Japan and the world. By the end, you'll not only have learned about their incredible feats of valor, but also understand why the samurai still inspire us today. The story of the samurai begins not with grandeur, but with necessity. It all starts during the Heian period, 794 to 1185 AD, a time when Japan's aristocracy ruled from Kyoto, while much of the rest of the land was rural and far less protected. The Bushi, the early warriors who would evolve into the samurai, emerged out of a practical need for defense. These men were not yet the noble warriors of legend, but were in fact landowning military servants or farmers who also practiced fighting techniques to defend their families and land. But as Japan's feudal structure began to take hold, things changed. By the Kamakura period, 1185 to 1333, the rise of the Minamoto clan and their victory in the Genpei War set the stage for the samurai's emergence as the dominant military force. The victorious Minamoto no Yoritomo established the Kamakura shogunate, the first military government in Japan, and in doing so, he solidified the samurai's place at the very top of society. What began as a group of mercenaries evolved into a warrior class that would forever change Japan. The shogunate system ensured that the samurai were not only warriors, but also administrators, landholders, and political leaders. They had a hand in everything, from the running of day-to-day affairs in rural Japan to enforcing law and order. Yet it wasn't just battle strategy or strength that defined the samurai's origins. It was their ability to weave together the arts of war with elements of politics, governance, and most importantly, philosophy. The samurai were evolving into a class that balanced the harsh realities of combat with the quiet contemplation of life. At the very core of the samurai's existence was a code that governed every action they took: Bushido, the way of the warrior. Bushido was not merely a set of military tactics or ethics. It was a comprehensive philosophy that shaped how a samurai approached everything in life. This was not a code that could be picked up or discarded. It was a total way of living. Every samurai was expected to embody its virtues completely. Imagine this. You are a samurai, not simply fighting for survival, but living for a set of values that guide every action you take. At the heart of Bushido were the virtues of loyalty, honor, courage, and integrity, but perhaps one of the most important virtues was honor. For the samurai, honor was everything. It wasn't just about personal reputation. It was about the reputation of the family, clan, and even the nation. Bushido taught that loyalty was paramount. To betray one's lord or fail to defend the clan was to dishonor the very core of the samurai's existence. For a samurai, loyalty was a bond that transcended life and death, and when death was the only way to restore honor, a samurai had no choice but to act. This was exemplified through seppuku, an act performed when a samurai had failed or dishonored his clan, and it was seen as the only way to regain that lost honor. Courage, another key element, wasn't merely about bravery in battle. It was about facing one's fears in all aspects of life. A samurai had to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, whether on the battlefield or in the depths of personal crisis. The concept of courage went beyond swordsmanship. It was about embracing challenges and persevering no matter the cost. But perhaps the most profound aspect of Bushido was its philosophical depth. While a samurai was a warrior, he was also a scholar, a poet, and a man of deep reflection. Many samurai practiced Zen Buddhism, which encouraged mindfulness and meditation. This was not only a way of focusing the mind for battle, but also an approach to life that emphasized balance between the physical and spiritual. Through Zen, the samurai learned to find peace within the storm, to focus the mind amid chaos, and to approach every moment with clarity and discipline. While the code of Bushido shaped their lives, it was the samurai's exceptional skills on the battlefield that made them the legendary figures we know today. Samurai were not just warriors. They were masters of every weapon and martial art of their time. The katana, their iconic sword, was a work of art, perfectly balanced, razor-sharp, and designed for precision. The process of forging a katana involved hours of delicate, expert craftsmanship. Forged from high-carbon steel, it was folded multiple times to create a blade that could cut through opponents with astonishing speed and power. Katana makers were revered craftsmen, as only the most skilled swordsmiths could create these swords capable of holding the samurai's honor and life in their sharp edges. Samurai were also skilled archers. Armed with the yumi, a longbow made of bamboo and wood, samurai could shoot with remarkable accuracy. Mounted archery became one of the defining characteristics of samurai warfare. A mounted samurai could shoot arrows with such precision that he could pierce a target from a distance without even needing to dismount. They also wielded yari, spears, and naginata, polearms, perfect for dealing with multiple enemies at once. These weapons were particularly useful in group battles, where the samurai fought not only as individuals, but as members of a larger unit, often employing sophisticated tactics. But samurai warfare wasn't just about brute force, it was about strategy. A samurai was a tactician who studied the land, understood weather patterns, and knew how to manipulate his opponent's psychology. This sense of strategy was epitomized in battle formations like the koi formation, where the samurai would arrange themselves in tight-knit units to break enemy lines. A well-known technique, called nukimi, involved drawing the enemy into an ambush. Samurai were adept at psychological warfare. They could feign retreat to lure the enemy into vulnerable positions. Samurai were just as dangerous, outsmarting their opponents as they were on the battlefield. Though samurai were masters of war, they were equally devoted to culture. A samurai's life wasn't just defined by the sword, it was about cultivating wisdom, appreciating beauty, and living a life of refinement. Many samurai were poets, philosophers, and artists. They practiced the art of calligraphy, creating kanji characters with delicate precision. Their poems were often haiku, short verses that captured the fleeting beauty of nature, life, and the human condition. In addition to the arts, samurai had a deep connection with Zen Buddhism. As warriors, they sought not only to conquer the battlefield, but also their inner struggles. Through Zen meditation, samurai learned to be present in every moment and to practice mindfulness. Whether they were facing death in battle or contemplating the beauty of a sunrise, this cultural influence was not limited to samurai alone. It permeated Japanese society. The tea ceremony, for example, was practiced by samurai as a form of meditation, a way to center the mind. Samurai would engage in the way of tea not just for social reasons, but as a means of spiritual practice, seeking to embody tranquility, patience, and precision. By the late 19th century, Japan began a process of profound transformation during the Meiji Restoration. The samurai, once the backbone of the Japanese military and governance, found themselves out of place in a rapidly modernizing society. Western ideas, industrialization, and new technologies such as firearms, which the samurai had once dismissed, quickly rendered traditional samurai tactics obsolete. The Satsuma Rebellion of 1877, led by Saigo Takamori, one of Japan's last great samurai, marked the final stand of the samurai against the modernization efforts of the new imperial government. The rebellion was crushed, and with it, the era of the samurai came to an end. But the decline of the samurai did not mean their disappearance from Japanese culture. Their values, their spirit, and their ethos continued to influence Japanese society in countless ways, from martial arts to the spirit of Bushido that is still revered in Japanese culture today. Today, the legacy of the samurai can still be seen everywhere in Japan. From the practice of kendo, the martial art of the samurai sword, to the spiritual discipline of Zen, the samurai's influence is still deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of Japan, and their presence is felt globally through popular media. Movies like The Last Samurai, books, and video games like Ghost of Tsushima all bring the samurai's story to life for new generations. These stories are not just about historical battles. They are about a code that transcends time, about a way of life that continues to inspire and influence us. The samurai were not just warriors. They were men who lived by a code, who saw the world through a lens of honor, courage, and respect. They were fighters in the truest sense, but also philosophers, artists, and teachers. Their legacy is not just about the sword, it's about the integrity behind every action, the discipline that guided their lives, and the strength of character that defined them. As we look back on the samurai, let us remember the timeless lessons they left behind. In a world that often moves too fast, their commitment to living with purpose, honor, and respect serves as a powerful reminder of what it means to truly live with integrity. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of the samurai. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And leave a comment below. What aspect of the samurai's code speaks to you the most? Until next time, may we all live with honor and courage.